Hey, as part of the series on woman power, today's story is about the brave, beautiful, extraordinarily multi-skilled and intelligent queen of Sivagangai, Rani Velu Naachiar. Okay, when I first read about her, I was totally blown away. So get ready to listen to her fantastic story. Okay. On 3rd January 1730, the king of Ramanathapuram, Sellamuttu Sethupathi, and his queen Sakkandi Muttattal were overjoyed when they were blessed with a baby girl. The princess was named Velu Nachiar. Since Velu Nachiar was their only child, the king and the queen decided to bring up the princess as a prince. So they made sure that she learned all the skills of warfare, weaponry, horse riding, martial arts. In fact, 2 types of martial arts. One was called Silambam, which is to fight with a stick, and the other is Valari, which is like a boomerang which you can throw at breakneck speed, that can be used during hunting as well as war. She excelled in academics, of course, and she became proficient in more than 7 languages, including Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Urdu, English and French. By the time she was 16, she was quite an accomplished person. So in the year 1746, Velu Nachiar was married to the prince of Sivagangai. His name was Muthu Vaduganatha Periya Udaya Devar. After a few years, the king of Sivagangai passed away and Prince Muthu Vaduganatha Periya Udaya Devar became the king of Sivagangai, and his wife Velu Nachiar became the queen. Velu Nachiar was so accomplished that she could actually help the king with the administration of the kingdom. All the people in Sivagangai were very happy with their king and queen. After several years, they were blessed with a daughter and they named her Velachi. In the year 1772, the Nawab of Arcot attacked Sivagangai. The king of Sivagangai was quite powerful and he could have easily defeated the Nawab, but the Nawab had an alliance with the British, and the British forces had better weapons. To top it, the captain of the army, he was treacherous. So they said that they want to have peace talks. The queen was informed about that, but then when the king of Sivagangai had gone to the temple to worship, and when he came out, he was suddenly taken aback and he was attacked by the son of the Nawab of Arcot and the British forces. Captain Joseph Smith killed the king of Sivagangai by treachery. When Queen Velu Nachiar came to know about it, she was furious and she vowed that she will definitely avenge the death of her husband and that she would return to Sivagangai to claim her kingdom, because she got news that the British forces were marching towards the palace to capture the queen. The royal loyalists were 2 brothers called the Marudu brothers, and they helped Queen Velu Nachiar to escape from the palace with her little daughter. the queen was riding on her horse trying to escape. She was pretty thirsty, and on the way she met a shepherd girl called Udayal, who quenched the queen's thirst by giving her water. After the queen had passed that place, the British forces caught her, and they asked this shepherd girl, "Did you see the queen go by?" And the shepherd girl said, "Yes, I saw the queen." And they said, "Okay, so in which direction did she go? Tell us." But the shepherd girl said, "Ha! What makes you think that I will betray my queen? Definitely I'm not telling you in which direction she went." So the British forces killed Udayal. Well, the queen came to know about it later. The queen kept on moving from one place to the other to escape from the British. And for 8 years she did preparations for the war. The war which she wanted to wage on the British forces and the Nawab of Arcot to get back her kingdom of Sivagangai. And how did she do that? She had 2 allies. One was Gopala Nayakar, who gave her refuge and helped her. And another was the king of Mysore, Hyder Ali. Queen Velu Nachiar managed to impress Hyder Ali with her prowess in Urdu. So Hyder Ali considered Velu Nachiar as his daughter and happily gave a lot of his men for the fight, plus some weapons like the cannons. Deep in the forests in various places, Velu Nachiar made preparations to train the army and to prepare new weapons. She spotted a very brave lady by the name of Kuili and asked her to make an army of women warriors. And she herself, along with Kuili, trained all the women for the battle. So this army of women was named Udayal Army, after the name of the lady who had sacrificed her life to protect the queen. You remember? Now the army was ready. In the year 1772 was the time when the king was killed. So after 8 years, now this was 1780. Now in this year, the queen decided this is the time to attack. And so with her forces, she went first towards the Kalayar temple, the temple outside which her husband was killed. So she marched towards that place and defeated the British forces there and killed Captain Joseph Smith, who had killed her husband. And then through her spies, she came to know that inside the fort of Sivagangai, there was a place, a storehouse, where all the ammunition was kept by the British forces. So she decided that somehow all this ammunition should be destroyed. But how to do that? The very next day was Vijay Dashami, that is the Dashera of Navratri, the 10th day of Navratri. Annually, that was the day when all the women were allowed to go into the Rajarajeshwari temple inside the Sivagangai fort. So her woman army, they all disguised themselves as ordinary women who were going to do some prayers. They took lots of flower baskets, etc. They hid their weapons under their saris and under the flowers in the baskets, and they took some oil and ghee, everything for the prayers, and entered the fort saying that they were going to the temple. So nobody checked them. Who was their commander-in-chief? Kuili, of course. And after they entered the temple, the Kuili gave them the signal, and all of the women, they took out their weapons and started attacking the British forces, who were totally taken by surprise. In the meanwhile, Queen poured all the ghee and the oil on herself, and with the sword in her hand, she ran towards the storehouse where the ammunition was kept. She killed the guards, opened the door of the ammunition storehouse, entered there, and destroyed the whole place by lighting herself up. She sacrificed her life to blast the whole storehouse of ammunition. It was like firecrackers. Everybody was stunned. So all the ammunition was destroyed, and Velu Nachiar with her full army entered the fort, and there was a raging battle in which the Nawab of Arcot and the British forces were all defeated. The captain then there was Bonjour, and he surrendered and sought her mercy and said, please spare my life. I promise that the British forces will never ever disturb Sivagangai. Well, the queen was merciful, and so she let the captain go. She spared his life. And then Velu Nachiar this way managed to defeat the Britishers. Yeah, this was in 1780, several decades before the first War of Indian Independence, which was in 1857. Remember? So, and she had not just fought with the British, she had actually won over them. She defeated them. She got back her kingdom. She was victorious. And then for almost 10 years, she ruled over Sivagangai as a benevolent queen, and she loved her subjects. Everybody loved her. There was peace and happiness and prosperity in Sivagangai. And then in the year 1789, she decided it was time to give the reins of the kingdom to her daughter, Vellachi. 3 years her daughter ruled, and then the Marudu brothers, they took over. In the year 1896, Queen Velu Nachiar breathed her last. The Government of India has issued a stamp in her honor, and the state government of Tamil Nadu has honored her with the title Veeramangai. Veeramangai means brave woman. There is a huge statue of Velu Nachiar in front of the Sivagangai palace. And the lady Queen, the commander-in-chief who had actually sacrificed her life for Sivagangai, there is a memorial in her honor too. So, let us never forget our heroes. Let's continue to be inspired by our powerful women. That's the end of the story today. I'll be back soon with yet another one. Till then,